Time to begin work?
Make yourselves at home!
Barbados! Guide us! Born of ice and frost! This is long overdue! No touching!
Go with blood! Ha! I see everything!
Shine down! Born of ice and frost! Wind, hear me!
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Wait, did I hear that right? Monsieur 𝐁𝐴𝐺, are you sure you'd like to take over the case yourself?
That's right.
No, but why? Technically speaking, cases like this are better left to the guards. Neuvillette! Sidine! Hey there! What are you two talking about? Traveler in Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. He wants to investigate a case on his own. Now, this is completely unprecedented. How can we have the Iudex acting like a private detective?
I trust that you'd be able to work that out with how well connected you are, but I must apologize. I do not plan on relying on anyone else's help for this matter.
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's something you've got to investigate personally.
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired at this stage.
Huh? I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, I have no objections.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave a note explaining my absence on my desk. I would appreciate it if you could take it to Lady Farina. She may have no interest in official affairs, but standard procedure dictates that I'm still responsible for reporting to her.
Yes, understood. I'll come back later and deliver the note to her. Judging from Sidine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past events. There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive. We still have no idea what's going on.
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts. Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the 𝐂𝐢𝐧𝐝 of Fontaine and initiated a series of institutional reforms. There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them. The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines. All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society. I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me. Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the innocent. It has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating? There's the guards, the Maréchaussée Phantom, and the Special Security.
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold the political system of Fontaine is relatively complex. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine...
Outsider? But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine?
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities. You know very well about my true identity, and have even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. Let's team up and round up all the bad guys lurking in the dark.
That does not sound like a bad idea.
Oh, Paimon's starting to get a little...
I will write my note of absence right away. Let us go. We should visit Kiara first and try to gain a better understanding of...
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true? Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed perspective on a... Paimon's been thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Thank you for your suggestion. I will consider using the more Please allow me to rephrase. Has a dragon out of water?
Ugh. That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
I never thought I'd see him here.
The weather's amazing today.
Kiara.
Huh? Monsieur Neuvillette! Oh, I remember. You're the traveler.
Aw, she's adorable!
Thanks for the compliment.
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger.
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious? Ah!
Did you think of something?
Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you?
Let's see. Found it!
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writer's intention. We can't rule out that possibility. Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais. Kiara, you should come with us. It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure! Wait, no. I still have a case to work on. I promised 𝐂𝐴𝐼 that I'd check on her place later.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about it!
Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon.
Don't worry, you're...
All right. Let us go our separate ways for now.
We'll take her to a lost place right away! So, Kiara, how old are you?
Let me think. 1, 2, 10? I can't remember. But I remember coming to the court of Fontaine with Carol and Neuvillette. That must have been a long time ago.
Carol? Didn't Neuvillette mention her just now? That was more than 400 years ago! Why would Paimon be a big sister to you?
My memory isn't that good. But Carol told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more grown up than me, so you're a big sis.
Huh. Paimon sees. Hey, Traveler, did you hear that? Strange. Paimon felt like someone was following us.
𝐂𝐴𝐼!
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two?
Oh, they're the Traveler.
I thought so. What brings you here? All right, guess I shouldn't have asked.
May I begin inspecting the store's place?
Of course.
No hazards detected.
That was quick. What were you...
I took a look around the shop. Neuvillette says that us Melusines have special eyes that can see things people can't. Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melusines can see the residual stains for some time.
All right. Now that you're done inspecting, hear me out. I'm planning to release an...
Of course!
Please wait a moment.
Seems like they get along really well. Huh? What are you looking at? Is there really someone watching us? Shh!
Strange. Why isn't he back yet?
Gotcha! Ah! Charlotte, what are you doing here? Oh, wait, don't tell Paimon you're the one who sent Kiara that threatening letter.
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned.
You want to interview him?
That's right. I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is every journalist's dream. But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us. So imagine how surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. Of course, I'll make sure to turn in my manuscript to him for review. I have my principles, and I'd never publish an article without the consent of all parties involved.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now. In exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about?
All right then.
What? Someone's targeting a cute little melazine?
Shh, not so loud.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. I'll ask my colleagues about it. Who knows? We might. But I gotta warn you, even if I keep my lips sealed.
Why?
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvrelet's each and every move. Anyway, I'll get going now.
Well, that was a nice chat.
What do you think? The design looks pretty good, huh?
I think it's great.
Huh. It's very pretty indeed.
Clorinde, what are you doing here? It seems that you just showed up out of nowhere.
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia, I heard that Neuvrelet was investigating a case with you. Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. I happen to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom-made at this boutique, in any case, so we always have a lot to talk about.
Ah, Neuvrelet sure is lucky to have someone like you.
Leave this to me. You should go meet up with Neuvrelet.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands. Come on, let's go find Neuvrelet.
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
We ran into Clorinde.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities.
We thought so too. Well,
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major cases I've judged over the past decade. I've come up with two plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflicting interests of these major cases and confirm my suspicions if there is indeed a mysterious group that bears a grudge against me.
they both sound like pretty solid plans. But can you...
Don't worry. I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents.
We'll help you read through them. We have nothing...
Thank you. I will continue looking through the ones piled up on the desk, but feel free to browse through... Have you made any progress?
We skipped through some of them, but there wasn't any... Oh, there are so many documents lying around.
I would love to answer that question, but the truth is I've never made a precise calculation myself. If memory serves me right, there should be at least 100,000 cases.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That might be how it seems from another's perspective. There are many documents here.
You...
All right, let us take a break.
Even though resting is a part of taking... All the silence is making Paimon feel really awkward.
Please pardon my lack of consideration. People rarely come to the Palais Mermonia for matters outside of work. Would you like to have some drinks, perhaps?
Ooh, drinks! Thank you! Paimon wonders what Novelette likes to drink. He seems like the type of person who'd own an entire winery. You know, like Diluc. What's inside these glasses? It looks just like water.
An astute observation. It is indeed water.
So it's just plain old...
What did you think it was?
Since you're the Chief Justice and...
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an overstatement to call it I believe you've already tried Fonta. In fact, there are many other drink factories in Fontaine, including those that specialize in packaging pure drinking water. Said water is sourced from all across Teyvat, including Mondstadt's Cider Lake, 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐝 village, and Inazuma's Konda village. Here is one of their latest products. Water from Sumeru's Apam Woods. If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, the waters of Cider Lake warm the heart. The waters of 𝐂𝐚𝐭𝐆𝐲 village have a poignant touch. Distinct differences exist between the waters of each area. You will appreciate their intricacies once you taste them carefully.
Really? Let Paimon try!
What do you think?
Nope.
How regrettable. It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining your...
Hey, this doesn't have to do with refining our taste. Paimon's pretty sure most ordinary people can't tell the difference. Oh, could it be because you're the Hydro Dragon? We are allowed to bring that up, right? Paimon's been wanting to ask this for ages. If you're the Hydro Dragon, why would you become Chief Justice in human society? Sorry. Paimon was just curious.
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thoughts. I accepted this position because I wanted to seek out answers.
Questions? Are there really things you can't figure out?
Many, in fact. But the one question that puzzles me the most concerns my own In essence, I neither know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand where my I lost many memories from the moment I was born. Perhaps the elemental dragons of other nations may have some form of an answer. However, they are scattered across all of Teyvat.
True. Some of them have very unique personalities, too.
I have been holding on to these unanswered questions, but there is one thing I've discovered along the way. My emotions easily resonate with those of others. My guess would be that there are at least some similarities between humans and myself.
Have you made any progress?
Perhaps, but I find such progress difficult to describe. As an outsider, that's why I'm quite thankful for this chat. Such opportunities are rare.
Are we gonna continue reading these documents?
I wasn't able to find any leads even after browsing through most of the documents. But while we were on the topic of water a moment ago...
Water? Do you mean...
That's right. The Fountain of Lucine is where all of Fontaine's waters converge. It is the vessel of countless If there really were an organization attempting to use Melusines against me, they should also hold an intense resentment towards me. Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by sensing the hydro element within the fountain.
Why didn't...
Perhaps we should go. There shouldn't be too many people near the Fountain of Lucine during the...
Illusion shut!
Committed to memory. Sharing my knowledge.
Shine down! I swear by my sword!
A moment, please. Monsieur Neuvillette?
I probably shouldn't disturb them.
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do next? Oh, Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few steps back and keep...
A safe distance? Oh, it's glowing! Thank you for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvillette. The court of Fontaine is truly incredible.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of help. Not only can I repay you for your kindness,
But a meaningful life also comes with its risk.
it's definitely the safest to just stay in the village. But I want to see the outside world. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence for almost 20 years. We've stayed in our village without finding any...
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel the same way. I too came here for an answer to my questions about my...
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village.
Logically speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. Different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because...
Oh, I see. I'm confident that we'll find the meaning of our existence one day.
I believe in you.
Huh? Is he the person I met in the Palais Marmot?
Yes?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him.
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Thanks, but no need.
Oh. a Melusine.
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards.
Please, calm down.
Hard to say.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters.
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Nervilet allowed them into the court of Fontaine just—
Exactly! That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions.
Go away! Quit acting in it!
I'm not leaving. I won't let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the 𝐊𝐢𝐳 Phantom and solved lots and lots of cases.
Solving cases? With Nervilet in cahoots with you? You could have fabricated it all, and so tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melusines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Didn't I tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Vautrin?
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the 𝐊𝐢𝐳 Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy.
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side.
how can two completely different species possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Yeah. I don't understand. Why won't—
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around you. There are countless negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine.
Monsieur Nervilet said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I still want to try a little harder. Okay, I won't be taking any more of your time. I painted a lot of flyers last night, so—
Give them to me.
You're not—
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
Monsieur Nervilet.
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin. Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melusines begin living peacefully with the humans.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
You blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Nervilet, even—
Nah, not gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take us out personally. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. So quit worrying and just go ahead with it.
I guess you're right.
Turn the murderer in!
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Nervilet, too! Peaceful coexistence? What a joke! Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
The results of the investigation are in, Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime. They tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Nervilet confess to his mistakes and yield up power. The guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time.
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth?
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to? Wait, are you planning to...
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young. She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. From the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvillette. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette wouldn't accept that as a solution.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. I will take responsibility for everything.
Did you know? They're hearing a major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carol and settled the score with the group that framed his friend. I'm thinking, bail him out?
Shh, keep it down! Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carol are Nervillette's most trusted subordinates. Besides, now that the old regime has been uprooted, Nervillette's status is secure as can be.
Vautrin sought vengeance for his friend for a valid cause. Please, think about it. If the same thing had happened to you, wouldn't you feel the same way he did? Yeah, that's right!
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol.
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent! He's innocent!
Order! I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, your revenge could be seen as a form of justice. I understand your decision, which is why I cannot help but feel regret. Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions. Your actions, therefore, you will be declared guilty.
What?
That can't be! Monsieur Neuvillette, please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Vautrin, my friend, is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvillette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vautrin. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vautrin will be declared guilty.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvillette.
This all happened because of Carol's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
Hey, stop spacing out! What's wrong? Are
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me. I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it still caused the emotions within the fountain of Lucine to boil over, due to my negligence. The overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well.
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought. Anyways, the last time we came here, the Traveler only heard voices from the Fountain of Lucine.
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine.
That sounds awesome!
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. Which ones? It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that. You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this.
Paimon's starting to lose track of what. Don't leave Paimon out of the conversation!
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered something strange. I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions. However, I did find some resentment directed towards Kiara. I don't know what caused this to happen, but it seems like there won't be a shortcut to finding the organization that...
Oh! Didn't we read about that in one...
You've read about it? In that case, the resentment should have come from that...
Huh? What are you doing here? I was just about to look for you at the Palais Mermonia.
Navia! Nice to see you again!
I've heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case. So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately. Maybe you'll find the suspects among...
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless eyes watching you. You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed. I did not expect that this could be kept hidden for too long.
You know, it could be because... Anyway, any progress with the
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact an... We are planning to return to the Palais Mermonia to revisit some details.
All right, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow up on their progress. Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Neverlet, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. What is more important is how the case is perceived by the public. I hope the same won't happen again.
Strange. What are these people doing out on the streets so late at night? Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melusine! This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
What? That's it! Who's been threatening Melusines?
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of hiding will keep us from finding them.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. The guards have already begun to take action. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons, report them to the guards immediately.
It feels like you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
We were informed that.
Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
Come on, don't act tough. I bet you're hungry too.
All right, let's go buy a cake or something.
You shouldn't ever skip meals, especially if you have another shift scheduled for later.
I heard even Nervilette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Nervilette wasn't involved?
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now.
That's more like it. We should stand guard until the criminal has been caught.
Come and fight me instead, you—
Have you heard? Even the special patrol came to—
Shh! Look! Isn't that Nervilette? I think he's looking at us.
Looks like there's nothing to worry about.
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over and say hi?
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Mermonia.
Everyone hold hands! Make yourselves a move!
Wind, hear me! There is no—
Away now.
Stay cool. Face your guilt.
Illusion shattered!
This may hurt a little.
Torn to oblivion!
The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the The list of involved suspects should be...
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide. Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders, but who did not participate in the case. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior.
So many names.
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case.
Monsieur Nervilette, someone claiming to be from the Spina Durasula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting at the cafe." Huh? How did Nadia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here.
are the people who have had recent dealings at the 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐵 Phantom. They're usually hidden in the 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐵 Zandra, but
Invite them over.
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
But... Oh well, let's get back to business.
Yes, that's me.
You're Essa?
Yes, Monsieur Nervilette.
Did you write that threatening letter to Kiara?
I did, but I was just following orders.
Orders from whom?
Domenico. He was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico? Where is he now?
The fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that place. Looks like you'll have to make the trip yourselves.
You've done more than enough. I am extremely grateful for your help.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first. If he really is the one setting up the conspiracy, it'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
All right then, let's head to the fortress right now.
It's Monsieur Nervilette.
Welcome to the Fortress of Meropide, dear esteemed guests.
We're back! Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself. Guess we've made a name for ourselves at this place.
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief Justice, Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase. I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to round up the other inmates and instigate a protest.
Who does this guy think he is?
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag.
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and—
That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he—
Did I hear someone say Melusine? What happened? 𝐂𝐧𝐿! Yeah, and we're investigating. Really? Is Kiara gonna be okay?
There's no need to worry. Clarande is protecting her as we speak.
Well, that's great. But if the criminal's still... Is there anything you can do about this?
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me to personally deal with the criminal?
𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐿.
Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you. That's your only demand, correct?
Think of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not to formally transfer a criminal for trial. I urge you to set aside any concern. Thanks for the trouble. Consider me in your debt.
Whoa! If Paimon were you here, Grace, Paimon would take this chance to ask for something really important.
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Nervilette would reject that. But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm...
Please come with me to the infirmary. And watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas, so make sure you don't trip over anything.
Now that I think about it, I can leave this place soon. Huh?
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would anyone like anything to... Paimon's not that thirsty. Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated. I'll bring you some tea. Typical 𝐂𝐡𝐚. Concerned about everyone's health as always. Why aren't you two saying anything?
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on their chests looked quite familiar.
Familiar? Paimon didn't even realize they were wearing them. But if both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
That's not a bad idea. I will stay here and wait for news from you.
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested?
What's that?
We have a very long history. We have never had many members throughout our history. Helping each other is our purpose.
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
All we want is to defend ourselves, but people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
Interested in... If you'd like to learn more, here... Our slogan may have... Here...
You two look... It's the symbol of the mutual... From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for myself. The first president of our network was an amazing person. All of us have a lot of respect for him.
We should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk... It ruined Paimon's app, huh? If we were on the surface, Paimon...
Did you manage to gather any intel?
According to them, the badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace.
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire.
Oh, so the network was inspired by... Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office.
All right. Let us talk to him first and...
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman. Why don't you explain everything to him?
Neuvillette? What do you want? What are you gonna do, kill me?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few questions. Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? 𝐂𝐴CIN has already confessed, so there really isn't any need to keep hiding.
That idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct? Who is pulling your strings?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine has been personally investigating your case. I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth. But before that, you must ensure my safety.
I can do that.
You see, we're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the 𝐂𝐲𝐶 Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, but I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melusines?
My initial target was 𝐁𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐻. Everyone in the fortress of Meropide was declared guilty by him after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against them, right? If I could get them to strike back. But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular. In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melusines to salvage things. I recall that 𝐂𝐴RO was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection. So I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter. But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to 𝐂𝐴RO and force it to resign from the 𝐂𝐲𝐶 Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
𝐂𝐲𝐭𝐡𝐴, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur 𝐁𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐻, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melusines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past.
And how long ago?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melusines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melusines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melusines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur 𝐁𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐻, the Melusines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you. When people refused to place their trust in Melusines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar Chief Justice. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you and even consider you a symbol of the law. Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually transformed the whole nation.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duty. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for answers through my judgment. It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs says it all. You're no longer that outsider you were before.
I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say.
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
I know of what you speak. The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Mermonia staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business.
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
Great! That's one thing out of the way.
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you investigated the mutual aid network. Is that right?
Yep. 𝐁𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐻 thought their badges looked familiar.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the fortress of Meropide. They were not great in number, but every member always made sure to stand up for what was right. I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fortress. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. He had never once engaged in physical or verbal aggression. In other words, how he presented himself in prison was very different from his behavior in court.
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment.
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one. That's all from me. Does anyone else have anything to say?
I don't have anything to say. Well then, let us head back.
Please, take care.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Wriothesley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
Time itself.
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Wriothesley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on Fontaine. Hey, any comments?
What I really think is, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person. These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but I will try to contemplate this further.